would not take to ICC is Ruto. So they are holding each other. But when now there are new marriages coming in, there are always jitters and people tend to think we're being left out, we have done this, we have done that. So the president would not easily abandon the deputy. But again, he would not go yapping around when he's trying to court. He's trying to court Honorable Raila to come in. There must be a common enemy. I've seen in politics, there must be some enemy which is normally being fought when others are being caught. People come in, Honorable Raila will come in and say, I have a problem with Ruto, I don't have a problem with you. When they go to Honorable Ruto, they say, I have a problem with Raila, I don't have a problem with Uhuru. When you go to Raila, they say, I have a problem with President Uhuru, and not. That is it. It's a game. Politics. But at the end of the day, the president would want to leave a legacy where he says, I gave a promise, my people gave a promise, they want to hold. Secondly, he also doesn't want to risk. He may just go on with Raila, 4 years, something happens, then Ruto becomes president, then he says, you abandoned me, I got this thing. That is it. So I think he is coming out to cool the tempers in the House so that those who are also pushing Honorable Ruto so hard, there are people around the president who are pushing the deputy president so hard, they should know that what they are doing is not in the heart of the president.
All right, Michael Agwanda, the Uhuru, my poll deal with Ruto is still intact, and President, who has since last year's election avoided this subject about succession in 2022, now seem to be a bit more vocal about it.
Uhuru Kenyatta is about 55 years old, see? I think around there. And Honorable Ruto is younger. This man just met in the field the other day. They may not know one another pretty well. Remember, they did not grow up together, and their world is apart. They are friends for convenience, in my view. They wanted a leadership, and they got it. If you've seen Ruto, Deputy President Ruto, the way he's been talking and his body language about the handshake, it was not one of his best deals. He didn't like it. And in fact, he went out there to call Honorable Raila Odinga names every single day. And remember, these were deals that were made and a handshake that was specifically made by his president. In other words, his boss is the one who made this. I don't know about standard, but I know one of the few things you want to do to your senior is to insubordinate them. Do something that you seem to be antagonizing the authority. Insubordination is one of these grievous mistakes you want to do in an employment situation. And for that reason, it's not been up to it. In fact, I just read one of his best, tweet on Saturday, and I think that was very good, that he's supportive to the handshake, and he looked genuine in that. That was the only tweet I've ever seen him write, and I thought, man, there seemed to be a change of hand here, a change of heart as well, and the more he calls Honorable Raila names, the more he loses votes, because this is one man also that has a huge following in this country, and so sometimes you also need to tread very carefully, even though you may think that you may not need that very individual, but politics, 1 day is like a year in politics. And for that reason, things might change, and it will be very difficult to go back to a man that you've insulted and called names in every function you've gone to, yet that man is already in a pact with your president. What you're trying to tell the world is, I do not agree with my president, I do not agree with this man, this is a wrong decision. No, that's not how a country lives. And you've seen Ruto's lieutenants also really talking a lot of hatred out there. But remember that when time will come for Ruto to run for president, he will look for votes for every person, including the communities that are insulting their leaders. And so he needs to tread very carefully. And I think if there's one person who did not also understand what this handshake was all about, was Deputy President Ruto. And that's why he kept on castigating it and calling it name and really violating it in every aspect of the way he could find. But to say the least, I think the country is moving forward to a point where Ruto has no option but to support what the president is doing. Because remember, when he's attacking what the president is doing, including handshake, even the people that are coming from the president's side are going to say, but what is wrong with this guy? He's fighting our own. What is wrong with him? And so there must be a change of tune, a change of language. And now that Honorable Raila has been appointed a chairman of infrastructure and development in AU, he need to know that now this is an international leader. He should not call him names the way he's been calling him the other day. If he's still going to continue to localize him in our local politics, he will definitely be interfering with international, respect
personality.
and
All right.
personality. So I think a way forward is Ruto has to support the handshake, whether he likes it or not.
All right, and I see whether he's amused by that, but we'll come to also the question of Raila's role now in local politics and whether maybe he should now concentrate on, basically international matters. But let me come to you, Irongo Kangata, on that same question, and that is to do with my poll deal with Ruto is intact. Do you feel that now with this new appointment, Jubilee's pressure, internal pressure, because definitely from some of what Jubilee supporters have been indicating, whether by body language or through their speech, it seems like there was tension and disagreement as to how this handshake is going to benefit Jubilee specifically. Do you think this eases the pressure?
No, because I doubt whether there was any pressure. I think the pressure is a creation of the media.
How is that a creation of media when you have the likes of Kipchumba Murkomen, the likes of Cherargei coming out to say that the handshake and anything to do with the referendum is purely about the Prime Minister's position, and of course Raila is the one that they were quoting to be interested in that position?
I don't see whether they were representing the voices of Jubilee. I think every Jubilee member of parliament or a senator has the right to express in whichever manner.
Even when it's very close, people closely allied to the deputy president?
Well, the deputy president is a friend to all members of parliament in Jubilee. So when you hear one or two senators saying something, that doesn't represent the voice of the Jubilee party. So, by the way, I don't foresee that stopping. You will find once in a blue moon a senator saying this, another one saying this. I think the issue concerning referendum is something that is bigger than Raila Odinga. I think there are those who strongly believe that we should have a referendum. The party is yet to give its position. We are still waiting for the president to give us his direction, but that does not stop any member of parliament supporting or rejecting the calls for a referendum. So to me, I don't see anything changing because members of parliament have the right to express themselves in whatever manner they would wish to.
All right, and let's come back to the dailies, and I'll go back to the Standard on page 7 of the Standard. And today is a day where KCSE begins and security is stepped up. And candidates will this morning begin their oral and practical examinations. And one of the things that we have seen of late is the security that surrounds examinations. And of course, this is all to do with the government ensuring that the examinations are credible.